Joel Hetrick's comeback challenge to the ATV National Motocross Series includes a victory at Unadilla. While the rest of the field was bumping and banging around, Hetrick had set sail out front. Eventually, Chad Wienen was able to pull into the number 2 spot, and Hetrick's own engine expired before the finish line, but he pushed it across the line to score max points. In Moto 2, Hetrick had work to do, and he worked his way up to the grab bar of Wienen. They battled tire to tire, bar to bar, and wheel to wheel, with Hetrick finally bulldogging his way to the front for 1-1 scores. Can he keep it up? The famous RedBud in Michigan is next, and the 88 is on fire. Welcome to the famous RedBud, right here on the Michigan-Indiana State Line, Round 8 of the ATV National Motocross Championship sanctioned by AMA Pro Racing. I'm Jason Wygant. Big crowd on hand as we get ready for racing here in a late summer classic. Amateur racers out on the racetrack, everyone dealing with the heat and humidity that's a big part of this every year when you come racing at this time of the season. Fans finding a way to cool off and have fun, packing the fences, getting their autographs from our top pros. Jeffrey Rastrelli signing there. There's Thomas Brown's Yamaha. There's Thomas himself. Hey, Nick Janusa, been getting quicker as of late. A bit of a late season surge for him. Wesley Wolf improving his starts. He's been up there. Good to see Parker Wawerka's number 9 back. That's Hayden Mickelson, part of the Phoenix Racing Honda team. Obviously, that's Sammy Rose machine. Cody Ford, the 52. See some electrical tape on some of these machines. There's Alan Myers, Yamaha. They are expecting storms to maybe come in. Hey, there's Wes Lewis machine. There is Wes, a new proud papa. Zach Kaczmarek on the number 41. Jeff Rastrelli not cutting the hair. The number 28. Dylan Tremellin's ride. And Brandon Hogue up on the podium in our last race. Let's check in with him. He's got to be happy.
Coming into RedBud, I feel pretty confident from the last round. At Unadilla, I got my first ever pro podium. That was really cool. I felt pretty good all day, and I'm hoping to carry that momentum into RedBud. It helps a lot with the training and stuff back at home, and I've been feeling really good, really confident, and hoping to just get back on the box again. I'd really like to show everybody that it's not just kind of a fluke thing, and I want to be up there every round. So we'll see how the weekend goes.
That was awesome to see that young man up on the box, and he was strong in both motos at Unadilla. Didn't just luck into it, but even stronger, Joel Hetrick, who swept the racing. 1-1 at our last event.
Checked out the track changes. It looks super cool. Happy with how the start is now. It's a lot different. You know, I wasn't a major fan of the old start. You're going like 4th gear wide open around that thing. It was pretty hairy, but now it's different. You know, it's got a couple 180 bends, and then you're back on the main track, and it looks a lot sandier than normal. I don't know from MXON if they did add some sand to it or whatnot, but it looks deep, and it looks like it's going to get rough. So it's going to be different than Unadilla for sure, but we've been training on some sand at home and just riding as much as we can, putting in the training and, you know, as much riding to be fit for this race and, you know, be consistent, of course, because out in the sand it's really easy to make mistakes, and I just want to try to keep the streak going, keep the moto wins going, and stay on top of that box.
6 motos remain this season. Hetrick is down 22 points on Chad Wienen, Brandon Hogue, and the rest of the field getting ready for qualifying and practice at RedBud. Don't go anywhere. ATV Motocross is brought to you by Rocky Mountain ATV MC and by Maxxis. Thomas Brown rolling his Yamaha out to the racetrack. It's qualifying time. And a couple of those track changes that you heard Joel Hetrick talking about earlier will be put to the test with our top pro riders, although the majority of the track is the same. Chad Wienen throwing it sideways here. Got the Millville throwback whoops. Something popped off of Hetrick's machine there through those whoops of the 88. Thomas Brown, the infield tabletops. Little swag there from Hogue. Feeling the confidence after that podium at our last event. Good job by the rookie. Here's a look at another one of those big infield tabletop jumps. Leads him up to the famous Larocco's Leap jump. Sammy Rowe coming through. Hayden Mickelson. Parker Wawerka on his familiar number 9. Now back in action with us, Alan Myers on the number 24 Yamaha. Dylan Tremelin, nice timing on the landing in that downhill ski jump. Wes Lewis through the Millville Sand Whoops. Cody Ford showing you just how deep and sandy this soil is. Zach Kaczmarek with the big downhill jump. Jaron Cochran through the rollers. Chad Wienen, the DirtNation.com fast qualifier. That is big. Hedrick usually has the edge on everyone in qualifying, so that bodes well for the number 1 of Wienen, who, like most seasons, through consistency has built up a big points lead. Let's check in with him.
Making our way to RedBud here. You know, just nice and hot out today. It's gonna be one of the hottest races of the year, so I've been really trying to prepare for that. Got the fastest qualifier this morning. Everything's been feeling really good on the machine, and try and put ourselves out front right away and run a clean race. And RedBud is one of my favorite tracks of the year. It's always a pleasure to come here. It's just when you come on the facility, it's you just know you're coming to a top-notch racetrack. So love coming here. So looking forward to today and see what we can come out with on an overall today.
And there's Wienen surveying the track. We are ready to go racing. Phoenix Racing Honda bringing Hedrick's machine to the line. Moto 1 is next. ATV Motocross is brought to you by Rocky Mountain ATV MC and by Maxxis. Hey, Nick Janusa ready to head out for his first moto of the day. It's our ATV pros, mechanics getting the starting lines prepared. New start this year. On board with Joel Hedrick. Let's go racing. Hedrick has Wienen to his right. He squeezes him off. And it looks like he's got the whole shot. Janusa right behind him. We're on board. Rocky Mountain ATV MC camera with Hogue. And battling right now with Wienen for third as we hit the ski jumps. Hogue trying to get around Janusa while also trying to hold off Wienen. Not going to happen. Wienen takes the spot away. Hedrick off to the races out front. Oh, and Janusa showing you just how deep and rough this track is. He's going fast, but Hedrick pulling away. Thomas Brown around Hogue also. Hedrick side to side swapping as he hits the Millville Sand Whoops. Hogue a good look at the battle in front of him. But man, losing another spot. This time Wawerka is, yes, we're working his way past him. So this is not the way Hogue wanted the beginning of this moto to go. Hedrick, a look over his shoulder with that Rocky Mountain ATV MC on board, and he sees nothing, already getting away. Well, it will be fun to see what Janusa can do. I've not seen these kind of starts from him this year. At least not consistently. I think maybe twice he started up front. So now we'll see if Janusa can deal with Wienen and Brown, who are always podium run guys. But only 2 of these 3 can make the podium at the end, and it looks like Brown has made the move on Wienen and now trying to get Janusa, so that's big. Brown in the Monza turn on the inside makes the pass, so the tough Texan is going to the front today. Started about 6th, up to 2nd. Oh, and Brown problems in the corner, stalled it. Janusa gonna try to get him back. Brown cuts him off. Hedrick just pouring it on out of that corner. Continuing to pull away. Battle continuing to rage. Brown, Janusa, Wienen fighting for it. Janusa really holding his own. The rider out of Wall Township, New Jersey. Wienen down to the inside on him. Janusa gonna try to run the outside, carry the momentum. It'll put him on the inside of this next hard right-hander, and it pays off. Hedrick just flying right now. Well, the story is the same nearly every week. Hetrick trying to win the motos and hoping that someone can finish between he and Wienen. Wienen has a way late in these races to rally. And by the way, you can see the sky in some of these shots getting darker. As I said at the top of the show, oh, we could have rain later. Making it rain right now is Wienen, up into a podium position, getting around Janusa to take over third. ATV Motocross is brought to you by Rocky Mountain ATV MC and by Maxxis. There's Joel Hetrick. Phoenix Racing Honda number 88 has pulled away from the rest of the field. Great racing behind him. Oh, Wes Lewis over the berm. And, oh, you can see why he's lost a wheel on that machine. Back to our leader, Hetrick. He has stretched it out. You cannot even hear anyone behind him. And he has long since given up on looking over his shoulder to find anyone else. He's gone. Brown and Wienen, a classic battle for second. Big points on the line. Lewis picking up the parts that are left from his machine. See if they can get that fixed for the second moto, which will be coming up almost immediately after this. Hetrick making that Honda sing as we go back to the Yamaha riders. Brown and Wienen fighting for the number 2 spot. This is going to be interesting. We've seen it a lot from Wienen this year, the early parts of the moto, not necessarily great by his usual standards, but always able to get back in it late. And that's exactly what he's done. Brown made the pass on him earlier and even put a little distance between the two of them when Wienen was struggling to get around Janusa. Hetrick clicking off another lap. White flag now out. Well, this is it. Wienen is running out of time. Hetrick just trying to bring it home. He did say earlier he was a little concerned with this sandy, deep soil. That definitely taxes an engine, but he doesn't have to push it now. Does Wienen have any tricks left? As you see Hetrick over to the far side of the track for the last time in this moto. Is there anywhere Wienen can make a pass? The bottom of this jump, that's those sand rollers. See if he can get it in there. And it looks like he did. I think Wienen has made the pass on the final lap. Oh, every time you think Hetrick's finally going to get that opening he's looking for, Wienen always finds a way to make it happen. Hetrick, meanwhile, leaving no doubt. Not just the start, but how about those opening laps, pulling a huge lead. He's gone. Another moto win for Joel Hetrick. He has won 8 of the last 9 motos, trying to erase a points deficit with some mechanical problems in the mud earlier this year. Will we have mud in this moto? Storm clouds continue to form over RedBud as we get ready for our second race of the day. Once again, the Rocky Mountain on board with Hetrick. And he's got another hole shot, although no Thomas Brown. Finding a line to the inside and steals the lead away. So Brown will get your hole shot in this moto. Hetrick, Wienen coming through next. Army of Hondas behind him. I think it's Rastrelli in 4th. Fast and furious. Look at the intensity early in this moto. On board with Janusa. He's just at the back of this battle right now. Trying to get around Myers on the 24. 2 distinct sides to this RedBud track. Got the spine through the middle of it that separate them. Not a good drive to those rollers for Hetrick here, and that's going to allow Brown to pull out just a little bit of a gap. It's at about 5 or 6 quad lengths. Back on board with Janusa, and a problem with Worka has stalled. Janusa got a monster truck his way to the inside, just drive right over everything, and is able to avoid losing a bunch of time. Now Janusa, 4th in that first moto, would love to get back up there again. we go back to the lead trio, not a surprise. They're beginning to pull away. They have been the main podium riders over the last, I'd say, 5 seasons. Rastrelli's able to get in there, no doubt about it, from time to time. But these are the big names. And Hedrick, surrounded by the 2 Yamahas, trying to get by. Man, is this track rough. Hedrick again to the inside. Still can't make it happen. He is throwing everything he has at Brown to try to get the lead. Staying lower on the takeoff to that jump. I don't even know how he did that. Back on board with Janusa. Still trying to catch Myers. Riding very well right now. No changes up front. Still this battle. Brown and Hedrick. Oh, Hedrick almost runs into the back of him. It was this turn right here off the start where Brown was able to get around because it looked like it was all Hedrick for the whole shot. Ski jump downhill, Hedrick to the inside again. Brown using the outside to clear the double. Now they're going to zigzag through some of these 180s. Nowhere for Hedrick to go. What happened to Weenan? He made a mistake, missed his line, and he's still there. Wait a minute. Weenan is done. I can't believe what I'm seeing. We have not seen a mechanical problem literally in years for Chad Weenan. He has, believe it or not, never finished off the podium overall since the 2012 season. I feel like I repeat that story every week on our shows. He has been absolutely, positively Mr. Consistency, but finally something has gone wrong. We hear it is a chain that has come off. So now this battle for the lead, it's even bigger because Hedrick could potentially take the points lead if he wins this moto. And Brown doing everything he can to stop it. Hedrick takes another swing at it through the sand rollers. He's got the inside if he can pull up next to him. Wheel to wheel. Hedrick. Great job to hold the inside at speed in the corner. He has the lead, and his main championship rival is being towed back to the pits. The championship has changed in a hurry at RedBud. ATV Motocross is brought to you by Rocky Mountain ATV MC and by Maxxis. Joel Hedrick. It's the day he has been waiting years for. Looking to go 1-1 at RedBud. That's not a surprise. That'd be 9 moto wins in the last 10 starts for him. Nick Janusa in this battle with Alan Myers. Everyone has moved up a spot because Chad Weenan had machine problems. Now Brandon Hogue with problems as well. Hedrick came into the day 22 some points behind Weenan and now could leave the points leader. Points were 291 to 269 coming into the day as you watch Rastrelli trying to hold off Janusa. Hey, Janusa, the New Jersey native, he could grab the podium today now that Weenan is out of this race. And if it was a chain problem for Weenan, that is justice being served because Hedrick had the points lead going into last year's finale at Loretta Lynn's Ranch, and his chain broke, and that ultimately allowed Weenan to steal the title. I just can't emphasize enough how strong that Weenan Motorsports Yamaha team has been in avoiding the mechanical gremlins through the years. Racing luck finally caught up to them. And Joel Hedrick, I don't know if he's aware right now, but he is going to be a happy man when this one is over, if he can hold on. Meanwhile, Rastrelli and Janusa still duking it out. Rastrelli was 16th in Moto 1, so he's not a podium overall factor. It appears, as now Wes Lewis, obvious problems on the front end of his machine. It appears that Janusa is headed to a podium overall anyway, but he's still fighting Rastrelli for the spot in the moto. It's a big day for Joel Hedrick, 1-1 at RedBud. And more importantly, he will be the points leader because of the problems for Weenan. Janusa will be third overall. He didn't get Rastrelli in the moto, but the 4-4 scores will get him on the box behind Brown. Let's talk to them.
Super pumped to get that 1-1 finish again. That's 4 motos in a row. I'm stoked on that. I've been feeling so good this year, and I just can't thank On The Box Nutrition enough for the fitness help and the nutrition tips for me for this weekend. It's so hot, and you can see me, I'm just drenched in sweat. But I'm pumped to get this 1-1, and I'm ready to go home and work hard for Loretta's and Ironman. We'll see you there.
Second overall, man, I felt great today. It was so hot. The heat was here, and being from Texas, I love it. But both motos, I battled hard. Overall, super stoked. Good in points, third. I'm excited. I want to keep pushing forward. I'm getting to battle with these guys more, learning a little bit each time. So it gives me a little bit of kind of like homework to go do when I get home, is learning what they're doing and trying to figure out how they're doing it. So super excited. CST, T Brown training, River Yamaha worked awesome today. Big group here behind me. Thank you.
My first pro podium at RedBud. I am super pumped. It's one of my favorite tracks, one of the most demanding tracks on the circuit. And I really, really wanted to get a podium in 2019. Finally got one. And the saying, the first one's your hardest, and I sure hope that's right, because I don't want it to take 5 years to get another one, which I don't think it will, but man, I'm just super excited. I'll probably finally be able to sleep tonight. It's always, every single night, it's been in the back of my head. You got to get a podium, and the years go by fast here, and I knew, the time is now. The guys who are beating me are older than me, and I got to not use that as an excuse. If they can put in the work, I can, and I'm honored to race with the fastest guys in the world.
And congrats to Nick Janusa for getting it done. Here's your Maxxis race recap. Hedrick out to the early lead in Moto 1. He pulled away, huge battle behind. It was great. Brown, Janusa, Wienen all going at it. Brown was on the move. He got both Wienen and Janusa to take over second. Eventually, Wienen able to get Janusa. He battled Brown right to the end. Made the pass on the very last lap. Hedrick takes the Moto win. Moto 2, Hedrick, good start. Good job by Brown to get to the inside, grab the lead, and hold it for a while. Parker will work with some problems, but the big story would be Chad Wienen right here. The chain comes off his podium streak. Overall, going back to 2012, is over. Brown did all he could to hold Hedrick off, couldn't get it done. Hedrick goes 1-1 of the day. There are the points, my bad. Wienen actually ends up 14th. Two other riders finished behind him. They broke earlier in that moto, so it allows him to cling to a 1-point lead with 4 motos to go. For everyone at Racer TV, I'm Jason Wygant. Better keep watching this year.